Warm greetings from the skies aboard KQ003, the flight from New York to Nairobi.
It's been an excellent experience. It's quite a lot to learn, a lot of exposure, a lot of new experiences.
I could come from New York and head to our motherland without stopping in Europe for long hours.
I'm saving a whole day, which makes me a lot more productive.
The flight is good, but they should improve on communication and customer service.
The milestones, the challenges, the way forward.
It's the best initiative we had. It's good for business.
We said in 12 months we start to break even. Well, actually we broke even in 8 months.
All of those flights have happened without incident. They have been safe and they have been secure.
Welcome, I'm your pilot for the show, Alex Chamwada. So sit back, relax and enjoy the show. But first, here is our fact sheet.
Kenya Airways says, contrary to perceptions, the airline has been flying 5 times or 7 times depending on seasons.
We adjusted the number of flights per week based on the seasonality and what's happening in Kenya, what's happening in Africa, and how we see the demand working. Because our flights have been booked quite far in advance, so we can predict what the seasonality is going to be.
And the destination through Kenya Airways is not just New York.
Right now we have 15 destinations beyond New York, which means that you can fly from Nairobi to those 15 destinations through New York without changing your ticket. We want to expand that. So that is our plan, is in 2020 to expand the number of destinations that we have cooperate with Delta. And in business class, it's full every night. In economy, it's almost full, 65 to 85% full every night.
The airline serves connecting passengers from over 34 African countries. Nigeria tops at 16.3%, followed by South Africa, Uganda, Tanzania and Congo.
The airline business is very different to many other businesses. It takes time to make money. In this case of New York, we said in 12 months we start to break even. Well, actually we broke even in 8 months.
Cargo from Africa airlifted to New York includes live birds, tropical fish, flowers and textiles. Inbound cargo includes mining equipment, eye cornea transplant, electronics, e-commerce and pharmaceuticals. For the Chamwada report, my name is Michael Zimanja.
Let's begin with this throwback. Images of the inaugural flight. And remember, it was flagged off by President Uhuru Kenyatta with a sense of patriotism gripping Kenyans.
Hongera Kenya Airways, Hongera Kenya.
The takeoff is etched in the memories of many, but the most nostalgic moment probably was the touchdown at the JFK International Airport. The only cameraman who captured that historic moment was none other than Chams Media's David Amateshe. He reflects on how it felt being on the ground.
You can imagine the pressure that comes with this kind of an event, because it's not a predetermined event that you can redo it. Because I was with the advance team, every arrangement had been made. It was quite an experience.
The captain who was in charge of that inaugural flight, Joseph Kinuthia, also has fond memories of the flight.
I felt like the whole Kenya and the world was behind me, and I could not afford to make any mistake at all. So I had to do everything right to make sure that everything works out, because the reputation of the country and myself was on my shoulders.
Captain Kinuthia has since retired and is set to be engaged by Kenya Airways in training.
Just pressure, don't push it, just apply.
We caught up with him at the flight simulator at the airline's training center, Pride Center.
You know, if we wait for them, they'll take their sweet time. But you know,
for the pilots who have been flying the longest Kenya Airways flight, the experience is world-class, so to speak, according to the captains and first officers on a recent KQ002 flight, the flight from New York to Nairobi.
It's been an excellent experience. It's quite a lot to learn, a lot of exposure, a lot of new experiences.
Before we started the direct New York, we had direct China for a short time. It was approximately 10 to 11 hours flight time. But this was the longest and still is the longest flights I'm currently doing.
This one has been very good for us since we've been operating almost maximum number of passengers, almost full house most of the time.
For me, the experience has been largely enlightening. Americans are very chilled out people, but of course with a professional demeanor. Yeah, so we are learning a lot every single day, flying with our senior captains here, and yeah, the experience has been largely good.
Amid skepticism, Kenya Airways management says the Nairobi-New York route has great business potential and one of the best strategic decisions taken by the national carrier.
It's the best initiative we had. It's good for business. It's good for the image of Kenya, and it's good for us in Kenya Airways that we believe that in challenging times we can still enter the most difficult market, be present and prove that we have our place on it.
And many have been asking whether the flight is popular.
I mean, and in business class, it's full every night. In economy, it's almost full, 65 to 85% full every night. To me, that's most satisfying, that actually what we set out to achieve, and we said would only occur in 12 months, we actually achieved in 8 months.
We really see the traffic picking up, and we really had this summer days when we were overbooked. So we had more passengers that wanted to fly the flight than the number of seats we could offer them. So it has an impact on tourists.
The Kenya Airways office in New York is located on the busy Broadway street near Times Square, a major commercial intersection, tourist destination, entertainment center, and neighborhood in the Midtown Manhattan section of the city. Here we meet Kenya Airways area manager Stephen Gamau, and I began by asking him who Kenya Airways' typical client is.
We've got a lot of corporate clients. UN is a big client of ours because we do have the UN in Nairobi, and we've got the UN headquarters here, so UN is one of our biggest corporate clients. We've got a lot of leisure traffic, people going on safari. What this flight has done is to create new opportunities in terms of the programs you can do into Nairobi and the region. So you go to Nairobi, you extend to Livingstone, you extend to Cape Town, you do your gorilla safaris into Rwanda and Uganda. Because of that, we have quite a good percentage of our clients who are leisure. We also have quite a bit of humanitarian. So we have clients from the Bible Belt, which is basically from the Midwest, doing a lot of humanitarian activities in Kenya and in the region. And then we also have a huge diaspora segment, which is also very important for us.
We sampled reaction from various passengers on their customer experience.
I was proud that we have a direct flight to Kenya, that I could come from New York and head to our motherland without stopping in Europe for long hours, sleeping or wandering around into the hallways of Europe.
It was a nice one because you take dinner in Nairobi and then you take breakfast in New York, but they should improve on communication and customer service.
Michael Landau, the chairman and CEO of CTI Africa, which has projects geared towards development empowerment in Uganda, is a frequent flyer on the route.
I'm saving a whole day, which makes me a lot more productive, and also not being on a plane for 2 long flights, the convenience of just having had a good sleep on one flight.
But there is the argument about pricing, and according to Michael, to a large extent, it all depends on planning.
If I don't book on time, sometimes the price can get a little bit exorbitant, but if I book, within a reasonable time, the prices are okay.
Carlson Wagon Lead Travel is one of the top travel agents selling Kenya Airways.
I was in the United States where we had our Skull Congress, And a lot of people were very excited. South Americans, people from Argentina, we had quite a few people from Canada, but they now did not have to go via Europe to come to Kenya. So it is a great service, and it's been a great addition for our business.
The agent has lots of feedback and comments about the Kenya Airways flights from its customers.
The airfares, especially in business class, are not as competitive as they should be compared to the other airlines. They've been having a number of good promotions right now in economy class, and that has really helped us sell it more. The in-service is also very important for a very long flight. I think KQ could do a little bit better on that, because not that people get on a plane to go and eat and drink, but it is important to have what you want. So a variety of healthy food, healthy snacks. And the other comment that I would like to bring out, and I think it's important, Kenya has got a lot of products that we make here. Kenya Airways In-Flight magazine should start showcasing some of our local products. We have beautiful beadworks. I'm wearing one of them. Our Kenya flag. You'll be amazed how many people are wearing this, and it's all. I haven't seen many other people, but it's all the Kenya flag.
And here is the agent's advice on how to manage your cost when booking tickets.
Airfare is very dynamic, and we get it all the time. Our clients are always saying we're more expensive. They forget, they book late, they forget, they make a change. As soon as you make a change, the fare goes up. And as long as there's demand on the seats for that flight, the airlines will make sure you pay higher the fare when you book a day early, as opposed to someone who's planned and booked much earlier.
On that note, we take a short break. When we return, JF Kennedy Terminal 4 CEO on the significance of KQ's entry into the terminals network.
It gives the Americans a very good opportunity to visit the beautiful country of Kenya and also the rest of Africa.
Also ahead, the diplomatic link in the Kenya Airways flights to the US.
Conference tourism is a beneficiary of the direct and non-stop flights that Kenya Airways offers between New York and Nairobi.
Welcome back. This is Kenya Airways, 1 year on. Nairobi, New York. New York, Nairobi. JFK International Airport is the primary airport serving New York City. It is the busiest international air passenger gateway into North America and the 6th busiest airport in the United States. In an exclusive interview with Chams Media, the Chief Executive Officer at Terminal 4 said Kenya Airways was an important partner in its network development.
Well, we were very proud to have Kenya Airways start their direct flights to Eastern Africa last year. It was the first flight from New York to Eastern Africa, direct flight, and that is very important to us. As a terminal, we have 33 carriers in the terminal, and we really are proud of having a diverse network of airlines and a diverse network of destinations. And to have Kenya Airways here for their first flight to the east coast of the US, and for us to be a direct connection to Eastern Africa is of course obviously very important in that network development.
JFK Terminal 4 handles over 21.6 million passengers per year. It is the largest terminal at JFK and is owned by 2 shareholders, Schiphol USA and Delta Airlines.
I think what is really good to see is that starting up a new route for an airline is always a challenge. We understand that, but from the beginning the on-time performance of Kenya Airways has been good, which is important to us because we are a terminal with 21 million passengers and a lot of flights, and our schedules are tight as well, not only from the landing slots perspective, but also from the terminal processes. And I think that is really good to see that we found a very trustworthy and on-time partner in Kenya Airways that has been performing very well.
To have flights to and from New York means a lot to any national carrier. The city has been described as the financial capital of the world.
I think that New York is, I'm Dutch, I'm not American, but still it's somewhat the center of the world. And this is, from a business perspective, is very important destination. Secondly, as a tourist destination, it is high on the calendar of a lot of people. On the other hand, I think from the US to connect to Nairobi and to Kenya, it gives the Americans a very good opportunity to visit the beautiful country of Kenya and also the rest of Africa.
Home to the headquarters of the United Nations, New York is an important center for international diplomacy.
It is true. There are several meetings of the UN, both at the UN headquarters in New York and in other centers, like even Nairobi, which is also the only other UN headquarter in the southern hemisphere. So like this year, we had the meeting on the Convention on the Status of Women, which brought large numbers of persons as participants, and Kenya Airways, as a regional carrier, facilitated their travel to and from New York. And of significance too is the just concluded high-level segment of the United Nations General Assembly, in which Kenya Airways was again honored to be the major carrier for those particularly coming from Eastern, Central, and Southern Africa to this particular conference. In this year, they were even privileged to have as one of the guest passengers His Excellency the President, who came for the high-level segment.
This is historic. It's a groundbreaker, it's epochal, really, that we can now fly direct from Nairobi to New York, and that we have a slot at JFK. JFK Airport is not just any other airport on the face of the earth. And so to not only fly here, but indeed to be allocated a slot at one of the most iconic airports in the world is in itself groundbreaking. It is historic. Now, these flights have also opened doors of opportunity for business people. It's possible now to send cut flour direct from Nairobi to this market, the American market, which means that products that have hitherto been difficult to bring into this market can now access this market.
Meanwhile, the success of the Kenya Airways flights to the US, according to the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, is an important statement about the safety of Kenya's airspace.
There has not been a single incident of security-related occurrence. We're proud of that. And KCA, in the oversight role of security, aviation security in this country, is proud of what Kenya Airports Authority has done. We're proud of the airline, Kenya Airways.
KCAA also sees the success as an endorsement of the capacity of the various bodies involved in the direct flights to the US.
We are positioning Nairobi with our hub of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to be considered to be the Africa headquarters for US businesses in Africa. And that is our prayer and hope that that trend will continue, and it is something that we have seen that it is possible.
In conclusion, Kenya Airways may be far from flying into profitability again, but as it marks 1 year of flying into the US market, the new route stands out as one of its most promising ventures.
When we started the route, we started with great trepidation. The people who said it would never work. The government encouraged us tremendously. The current government, the president himself, encouraged us tremendously. In fact, the president has been on that flight. I think for us, it's an investment that's paying off. Has it paid off? Not, for sure not. Probably another year before we see it really pay off. But you know, it could come in time where we fly twice a day to New York. It wouldn't surprise me if in 2020, once we have all the code-shares with Delta, we fly twice a day to New York.
Kenya Airways, as I've said, is a national emblem. And so, by whatever means possible, we must have KQ. We must keep KQ afloat. We must keep KQ competitive. And if it means government support, or national support to keep KQ in the skies, we must do it.
It's been a nice show, a pleasant flight, and I've been your pilot for the show, Alex Chamwada. On behalf of the entire crew at Chams Media that made this production possible, and our broadcasting partner, KTN News Channel, thank you so much for watching, and see you again next time.